Here to help us celebrate our 6th birthday at Nashville now, one of country music's great stars, Conway, Twitty. Conway, welcome to the show.
Thank y'all. Oh, I got my tuxedo on, and I'm ready, Ralph.
CT, I knew that you wouldn't wear a tuxedo. I know one time I had to wear a tuxedo for you down at Grand Cayman Island to open your hotel down there. You were wearing your swim trunks while we were cutting the ribbon.
And I would have worn them tonight. It was a little nippy out there.
How you getting along?
Doing good. I'm touring right now with, let's see, it's Conway, Twitty, Merle Haggard, and George Jones.
That's a pretty
good
pretty
show.
hot little package.
That's a super show. I'd buy a ticket to that one myself.
What do you call the tour?
Country Explosion.
Is this going to happen all of 1989?
Yeah, most of this year. We're not every day together, but a lot of them. And the ones that the three of us aren't on, the rest of them are George and I, or Merle and I.
But the explosion, the big one, is you, Merle Haggard, and George Jones.
That's right. That's the big one.
Was this your idea?
Yes, sir.
How many dates have you played together?
No, we've probably done about 12, 15 so far. But we still got a lot to go. In fact, we're out there again this weekend.
Sometimes, I know how you think, sometimes you spin these ideas off into records. Any chance that you might record with these two guys?
You know, I thought about getting somebody to write a song. Maybe somebody could record about Twitty, Haggard, and Jones. Maybe some kind of come up with something.
Well,
I don't know.
Now that you have mentioned it on television, I'm sure somebody will. You'll probably get a tape in the mail.
Yeah.
What else have you been doing, Conway?
Mostly touring. Hadn't been down to the Cayman Islands lately. I hadn't been anywhere like that. Just been working.
Now, I know baseball season is about to crank up, and you are still involved in a number of baseball teams. How many this year?
That's right. Well, just a couple this year. The Nashville Sounds, for one. And, yeah, all right. Some baseball fans in here. We have a farm club for the Cincinnati Reds, and the team down here in Huntsville, Alabama.
And they are a farm club of which team?
California.
California Angels?
No, that's wrong. San Diego, San Francisco, something like I can't remember. I don't know.
Now what?
Oakland, that's it. Somebody out there got it. That's it.
That's right. Canseco used to play at Oakland.
Yeah, he was there a couple of years ago.
Huntsville.
Yeah, that's right, Huntsville. That's right. In fact, they've had 2 or 3 really big ball players come through there. Canseco was one of them.
You had an involvement with a great number of ball clubs at one time. At one time, you and Larry Schmittou, who is the, I guess, general partner or general manager of the Nashville Sounds, you and that consortium had about 6 ball clubs you were involved with.
Yeah, it just, most of it was, Larry Schmittou was the general manager of the whole thing, and it was too much for him to handle, and he had to back off on some of that stuff. And I think he's probably a little happier since he don't have to work so hard.
Conway, do you like television?
I like to watch it.
Somebody told me one time, they said that you would stay up late enough to watch snow.
That's true. But I just want, while we're on that subject, I'd like to say this. As a person who loves country music and a person who does it, Nashville Now has been a long time coming, right? We've needed this show for a long time. And I'm proud to be able to watch it every night.
Well, I was kidding, Conway. You've never been a big fan of performing on television.
Of doing it, right.
And years ago we were doing Pop Goes the Country. And we taped that show, and we were in the back of the Opry House. And 300 people are staring at us, and we're not doing anything. We're just sitting there waiting for the next shot. Conway, kind of under his breath, he looked at me and he said, "How do you stand this?" I want to bring up one other thing too. You've had an amazing success at the Nashville network with Loretta Lynn, haven't you?
That's right. That's right.
You put out an album that was marketed on this network, and I think it's
a television album.
Last time I heard, it was the most successful album ever launched on this network.
That's exactly right. And Loretta and I were certainly proud of that. Yeah, the Nashville Network is a super duper place to sell some records, right?
Conway, I want you to, I know you have to leave early, but I don't want you to leave just yet. We need to take a break. We'll be right back in a moment. I want to comment on your beautiful jacket tonight. Miss Lillian Bernhardt, who is our wardrobe lady, made this new tux for Red tonight. I think you
Especially
look
for
sharp.
the show. Yeah,
Huh?
thanks, Ralph. And I want to thank Lillian. How you doing, Conway?
I'm doing fine, Red. You're looking sharp tonight.
Well, thanks. I feel pretty good. Hey, Ralph, you know, we got them Shotgun Red dolls. Loretta Lynn says they got a Conway Twitty doll out now. When you pull the string, he goes,
Yeah.
I was commenting with Conway. I mentioned to him during the break that he put out a record which I thought was very creative called Saturday Night Special, and which you said went to number 5.
Yeah, number 5, I think.
But you got some protest over that song, didn't you?
Yeah, the song was about a situation between a man and a woman, and it all took place in a pawn shop. The guy was there to buy one bullet, and he had lost whoever he loved, and he was going to shoot himself. And the good lady was there to hawk her wedding ring because, you know, her deal had gone bad. And in the song, the pawn shop fella offered her, just a little bit of money for the ring, and she started crying. And the guy turned around, and by this time he'd already bought this bullet. And he said, you know, the pawn shop broker knew the gun was in my pocket, and he knew because I just bought it from him, right? And said I just turned and looked at him, and he offered her $2,000 for the ring. But they wound up leaving the pawn shop together, this man and woman, and he invited her to go to Texas with him, and everything turned out great. So to me, it was a love song, and I wrote a letter to the people in the pawn shop.
What were they protesting?
Well, they thought it gave pawn shops a bad image. And I do know some people in the pawn shop business who are nice, super nice people, and there may be one out there who's a renegade, you know, but kind of like Red over there.
I see. So what did you wrote a letter to the
to a magazine that goes to all the pawn shop brokers and told them the story that I just told you, and I, in fact, recorded a love song. I thought it in a place like that where there was no hope at all left, you can still find hope. And they walked out of there together and had a beautiful life together. So it was a love song to me.
Okay. Conway, thank you for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty.